and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Chinenye Nwoye. First, let's bring you the headlines. Hamas hands over 3 Israeli hostages to the Red Cross in Gaza as Tel Aviv sparks with emotions amidst jubilation. Paul Kagame and his Congolese counterpart Felix Tshisekedi calls for immediate ceasefire in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And federal judge in the United States halts Donald Trump and his billionaire ally Elon Musk from pulling thousands of staffers from the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. Many thanks for joining us. Hamas handed over 3 Israeli captives to the Red Cross in Gaza on Saturday as part of the 5th such hostage prisoner swap under an ongoing ceasefire with Israel, an AFP journalist reported. Hostages Eli Sharabi and Levi or Odhad Ben Ami were released after they were brought onto a stage in the central Gaza city of Deir el-Balah by masked Hamas militants. However, 183 prisoners are due to be released today in exchange for the 3 Israeli hostages. So far, 383 prisoners have been released, with 1,900 expected in total. The prisoners released today will be brought to the West Bank and Gaza. These 3 Israeli men appeared thin as they were paraded by Hamas gunmen onto a stage in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza. They were forced to give statements before waving and being taken away by the Red Cross. El Sharabi and Ohad Ben Ami were both seized from Kibbutz Be'eri, and Olevi was captured at the Nova Music Festival. In a statement, the Hostage Families Forum described the appearance of the men as disturbing, saying it proved there was no time to waste to bring home the remaining hostages. Israeli negotiators are expected to head to Qatar for talks on the next stage of the Gaza ceasefire. Meanwhile, Israelis in their numbers have been jubilating over the release of the 3 hostages across Tel Aviv. Donald Trump and his ally, billionaire Elon Musk, halting plans to pull thousands of staffers from the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. Francis Udojo has details.
A temporary order to stop the administration from placing workers on leave and forcing them to return to the U.S. within 30 days, citing potential risk and undue hardships for employees and their families abroad. The decision comes amid ongoing efforts by the Trump administration to drastically reduce USAID's operations, including suspending funding for critical overseas programs. USAID workers, including contractors in regions like the Middle East, had reported being cut off from vital communication systems such as emergency panic button apps in the wake of the termination. Francis Udojo, NTA News.
Kenyan President William Ruto urged all armed forces in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo to cease hostilities as regional leaders met in Tanzania for a peace summit on Saturday.
Specifically, we stand together to call on all parties to actualize the ceasefire, and specifically on the M23 to hold further advancement and the armed forces of DRC to cease all retaliatory measures.
The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Ali Pate, says Africa must take ownership of its research and innovation to address the continent's pressing health challenges, noting that African countries that presently spend far less than 1% of their GDP on scientific research must harness their young scientific talents, biodiversity, and health data through strategic investments, stronger regulatory frameworks, and an ecosystem that supports homegrown innovation. Speaking at the 10th anniversary of the Africa Research Excellence Fund, AREF, in Banjul, the Gambia Coordinating Minister Pate reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to strengthening research and healthcare systems, highlighting the government's ongoing efforts to build research institutions, enhance regulatory capacity, and support innovations that will improve health outcomes and create economic opportunities. Professor Pate also announced that Nigeria will appoint a liaison within the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare to facilitate collaboration with AREF, ensuring that Nigerian researchers benefit from the network's expertise and advancement opportunities. The Nigerian Television Authority has honored several individuals for their participation and insightful contributions to the programs on the national television. Francis Udojo reports that the Director General of NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, chaired the event, which was also used to celebrate the positive contributions of the guests to NTA's efforts to serve the people better over the years.
It was a remarkable moment for the NTA family and guests following presentation of awards for these regular faces on NTA for their resourcefulness, intellectual analysis, and insightful contributions on critical national issues. These contributions, the management of NTA says, have not only enriched content, but have assisted NTA in carrying out its mandate of informing, educating, and analyzing government policies and programs in the interest of both the public and government, hence the gestures.
We acknowledge your commitment to excellence and professionalism that elevate the quality of our content in the NTA. Your engagement has helped us a lot in fulfilling our mandate to the general public to be trusted as a source of information and a platform to diverse voices within the country.
Thank you for your valuable or invaluable contributions to NTA as a family, without which we would not have the richness and the content that we deliver every day.
Our distinguished guests, for your time that you give us when we call you at odd times, at short notices, and you respond to us. We value that. We know you are doing it not only for the NTA, but for the nation.
The plaque that has been presented to you all is just a token of our appreciation.
Recipients of these awards who have made marks in their respective professions and reputable organizations see the award as a button to press on.
For us to be recognized by the biggest broadcast network on the continent, we want to thank you most profoundly for this honor. And I would like to assure you, you have even spurred us into contributing more.
What else and how else will any medium be better, to be contributed to by erudite scholars that you have honored today, but better than what they normally do?
Beyond being the oldest, if you think about its history, is also one of the stations that you can go to every part of Nigeria, regardless of where, and you would say that yes, NTA is present here.
I've been so privileged that I've connected from almost all your zonal stations, from Lagos, from Jos, from Kaduna, from Ibadan, several times. But I'm talking of you not even being in the studio, but connecting virtually.
The visitors, describing NTA as a hub for other media to will, gave several suggestions, especially on how NTA could leverage ICT to sustain its vision and mission. In Abuja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports thereafter. Do stay.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their socio-economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, one person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, one person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary health care center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Many thanks for staying on. Tanzania and Burundi have agreed to collaborate on building a 282-kilometer railway connecting the two nations. The railway line will link Uvinza in Tanzania to Musoganti in Burundi. The project, funded by the African Development Bank and will be developed by Chinese, valued at $2.15 billion, aims to enhance trade between the two countries.
To carry agricultural goods and general cargo, as well as passengers. Minister of Finance and Planning Gulu Chemba stated that funding from the African Development Bank is a positive development for the project's completion.
I would like to let you know and guarantee that the funds to complete this project are secured.
More broadly, this railway system is part of Tanzania's ambitious standard gauge railway initiative, one of Tanzania's largest developmental projects, and is valued at $2.1 billion. The contract has been awarded to the China Railway Engineering Group and the China Railway Engineering Design and Consultancy Group to improve transportation infrastructure in the country. This link is in line with the Africa Union's agenda to have all African countries connected by modern railways by 2026. Tanzania, feeding 8 landlocked countries by rail, is playing a significant role in realizing this objective for the East African region. The project will also include a 1-kilometer-long bridge to accommodate both rail and road transportation between Tanzania and Burundi. Burundi's government says this collaboration will serve as a model for other African nations.
Burundi na Tanzania zimekuwa zikifurahia.
Burundi and Tanzania have shared a deep friendship, and this project will be a massive platform to grow the economies of our two countries.
Na fursa za biashara katika nchi zetu.
The Chinese company involved in this project have a long history in Tanzania, having undertaken projects in the region for over 5 decades. As the construction phase approaches, both nations are keen to see the projects come to fruition, believing it will mark a new chapter in the economic partnership. This railway link is not just a connection between two countries, but a step towards a more integrated and prosperous East Africa.
And back home in Nigeria, Nigerians are assured under the renewed hope road infrastructure of the best in road maintenance and safety across federal road networks. Minister of Works Dave Umahi said this at a one-day retreat for board and management of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, held in Abuja. Usman Zubeiru reports.
With limited resources and dwindling economy under the renewed hope road infrastructure, the federal government intends to construct about 35,000 kilometers of road nationwide. However, these ambitious initiatives requires commitment and hard work. And this one-day retreat for board and management of Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, with team delivering the agency's mandate, aligned to Renew Hope, is designed to develop practical solutions for road maintenance nationwide and also set deliverables targets for the 2025.
Too late. An in-depth look into the 8-point agenda of Mr. President with a view to having a firm understanding of them.
Declaring the retreat open, Minister of Works David Umahi said infrastructure is a catalyst for economic prosperity, and the Tinubu's administration is committed to building roads that will stand the test of time. The minister says he is impressed with the performance of the agency, stating his readiness to give all necessary support to ensure the present mandate is achieved in the sector.
One thing is very key, what we are incorporating as directed by the president, that, in all our major routes, as we are completing them, we are putting CCTV camera, we are putting solar light, so we'll be able to start a point to monitor the activities, on the road.
The improvement is in all sectors, not only in roads. For the economy, look at the economy, how it is rebounding back. Look at the area of solid minerals, look at agriculture, look at education. So many reforms have been injected to ensure that this country moves to the right pedestal.
Participants are expected to leave here with renewed vigor and commitment to bring their experience that federal road networks are motorable all year round. Osman Zubeiru, NTA News.
The need to collectively reject cultism and drug abuse in the society, as well as promote peace across the country, has been brought to the fore. This was at the first annual convention of Zero Tolerance for Social Immoralities Initiatives, ZC Africa, held in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Aisha Abubakar Yahya has the report.
Zero Tolerance for Social Immoralities Initiative ZC Africa is an organization that is committed to fighting social immorality in Nigeria and across Africa. The first annual convention is therefore to, among other things, deliberate on how best to mold a new generation of youths who are free from cultism and drug abuse, as well as morally upright. Relevant stakeholders at the convention stressed the need for a collaborative effort in which cultism and drug abuse would become a thing of the past in the society.
If these menaces are not quickly tackled from the grassroots, they may turn up to be the next set of terrorists in the nearest future. So we are bringing them together so that we can sensitize the students, and then we bring the stakeholders on board too.
These twin issues not only jeopardize individual lives, but also threaten the safety and progress of our communities.
It will help the youths to know about the consequences of drug abuse.
It will help us to know that this drug abuse needs to be raised in our society.
Representative of Zesty Grand Patron, the Director General of Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Saliu Abdulhamid Dembos, reiterated the commitment of the NTA to joining the cause of fighting cultism and drug abuse through its corporate social responsibility.
On our part at the NTA, we shall continue to use our medium to expose the negative effects of autism and drug abuse with a view to discouraging the youth from getting involved in these negative social vices to forestall their consequences.
Awards were presented to individuals who have contributed to promoting the cause of Zesty in various ways. Aisha Abubakar Yahaya, NTA News.
Kogi State, north-central Nigeria, has fertile land for the cultivation of a wide variety of crops. In this report, correspondent Ayodele Ibibwemi takes a look at cashew production in the state with focus on quality of seeds and adaptability of modern technologies by cashew farmers to increase production.
Nigeria cashew has continued to maintain prominence both at local and international market, with about 60% of cashew production in Nigeria coming from Kogi State.
It accounts for about 60% of the total output of cashew in Nigeria. Cashew nuts can be likened to golden seeds due to its ability to spur economic growth at the state and national level.
Cashew thrive in the whole of Kogi, but you can get the best from Kogi East. And Kogi East economics has been revolutionized by cashew production and value chain. In fact, people have moved from the days of poverty to riches now through cashew.
Associate Professor Adejo Patrick Emmanuel and Professor Haruna Ibrahim Opalua, both of the Department of Agricultural Economics and Extension Services, Prince Abakar Ado University, Aniba, explained that the use of quality seeds and modern technology will improve cashew yields, reduce cost of production, and will improve the quality of cashew products in the states.
Investment in high-quality seeds can increase foreign exchange for the country, also improve the income of rural farmers, and then also improve rural livelihoods.
On farmers training and extension services, they submit that a large number of farmers in the state are gradually embracing integrated pest management, among other modern technologies such as agrochemicals, which is helping in enhancing cashew production.
Improve cashew seeds. So farmers have access to improved seeds, especially the jumbo ones. And these cashew farmers have access to most of this technology, like the integrated pest management that you said they have. They even give them some incentives, like hand pumps and NAFSA sprayers.
The implementation of good agricultural practices by using appropriate cultivation techniques, responsible pesticide use, soil conservation, and water management.
The farmers in Kogi State are well exposed to these technologies, like that integrated pest management you said, fire terracing. You are talking of soil pH, that is soil acidity. They are all, some of the farmers were even given kits to test the soil before they plant cashew. So they are well exposed to some of these technologies. A lot of them, apart from the real technology that has to do with the trees or the soil, they expose them to even technologies that will help them acquire skills to manage the cashew, manage their finances they get from cashew proceeds.
The delay in the adjudication of corruption cases brings about the concept of plea bargaining under the Nigerian criminal law. Though a global concept with a lot of misconceptions, it is a tried legal process that saves time. In this report, Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk takes a look at the legal concept of plea bargaining.
That allows a defendant in a criminal matter to agree with the prosecution to plead guilty to a lesser offense or to a reduced sentence in exchange for cooperation or other considerations, was introduced into Nigeria's legal system with the provision of Section 14, subsection 2 of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission Act in 2004. This was further strengthened in the dispensation of the criminal justice system with the enactment of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 at the federal level, while it was introduced in Lagos through the enactment of the Administration of Criminal Justice Law 2011. Section 270 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 is explicit on the matter.
Under Section 449, subsection 1 of that Act,
Plea bargain is well described as, quote, the process of criminal proceedings whereby the defendant and the prosecution work out a mutually acceptable disposition of the case.
We have had it before in the past where companies and multinationals in this country too have resorted to plea bargain, and they've been given either fines or will recover monies that are in their possession. So it's a good tool if used properly.
If we approach it from a positive, honest point of view, plea bargain is not a bad thing.
Charge bargain and sentence bargain are the two types of plea bargain arrangement. To ensure that the concept is not abused, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi SAN, came up with plea bargaining guidelines for federal prosecutors 2023 for uniformity on federal offenses that are subject to plea bargain.
Today, this perception has not significantly changed, notwithstanding the provisions of Section 270 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015 and similar provisions in the Administration of Criminal Justice laws of the various states of the Federation.
Though the practice of plea bargaining is often misunderstood as a means of giving soft landing or a mere slap on the wrist of individuals who have looted state resources, plea bargaining is a potent legal process for recovery of looted commonwealth.
If you look at the functionality of this modality, face-to-face the reality of our judicial system, then you will discover that it is more proactive.
While it may be fanciful to expect that every accused person should spend time in jail, sometimes it may not be in the nation's best interest to do that, because people who are alleged to have stolen huge sums of money can deploy their resources to ensure that the judicial system does not work.
Another way of checking the abuse of the practice is that every plea bargain agreement is subject to the consent of the court. Plea bargaining is a legal means of recovering looted funds globally, Nigeria inclusive. It saves time and money being spent on litigations to recover stolen assets. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And next is weather update for Sunday in Nigeria and some other parts of the globe. And this is where we end the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Chinenye Uri.